I remember a story from years ago when my family and I were visiting relatives in South America. My grandma recounted a tale about a nosy woman who kept investigating all kinds of noises outside. Every time there was a sound, she would peer out of her window. One late night, there was a group of people making noise with drums. True to form, the woman looked out the window to investigate. It turned out that this group were demons sent to take people's lives. These demons quickly climbed up her house, entered through the window, and ended her life. They then took her corpse away back to where they came from. While I don't recall all the exact details of this story, these are the parts that remain vivid in my memory. If I happen to come across the exact story, I might share it in a future video. Today's story reminded me of this tale, which scared me to the core. Here is the late night knocking. It was a dark and stormy night, and Anna was fast asleep when she was suddenly jolted awake by a persistent knocking sound. She rubbed her eyes, wondering if it was just her imagination, but the sound continued. It sounded like someone was knocking on her bedroom window. Anna cautiously got up and peered outside, but the street was deserted. The rain was lashing down heavily, and the wind was howling like a wild animal. Anna tried to shake off her unease and reasoned that it could be a branch or some other object hitting the window. As she turned around to walk back to her bed, she noticed that the knocking sound was not coming from outside, but rather from her mirror. As she drew closer to the mirror, she saw a faint outline of a creepy old woman behind the glass. The old woman's face was twisted into a hideous scowl, and her eyes were completely white, sending shivers down her spine. Anna tried to turn away, but she couldn't. The old woman's gaze had an inexplicable hypnotic quality that paralyzed her. The knocking sound continued, growing louder and more persistent by the second. Suddenly, to Anna's horror, the old woman's hand burst through the mirror, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. Anna screamed in terror and tried to run, but the old woman's hand grabbed her by the hair, pulling her back towards the shattered mirror. Anna found herself trapped, with her body half in and half out of the mirror. The old woman leaned closer, her mouth stretching impossibly wide as she prepared to devour Anna whole. Anna screamed and begged for help, but there was no one around to hear her cries. As the old woman began to feast on Anna's flesh, the scene turned into a gruesome bloodbath. Anna's body was torn apart, leaving only her lower half leaning over the dresser in a pool of blood, a ghastly sight for anyone who might discover it. Let this chilling tale serve as a cautionary reminder to never investigate any late-night knocking sounds, as it may just lead to a deadly outcome.